Terry.
Yeah.
So Terry is the founder of Nothing by Half Consulting Services. His philosophy is in life is do nothing by half. I love that. I love that. It's all about consistency, right? Taking what you start, taking it till the end. I think that's so powerful, and that gives you so much motivation, right? Once you show yourself that you have just accomplished something, I think that is very powerful.
Yes.
And he's also a professional coach. Today, he's going to be talking about the 8th habit, how to develop your mental, physical, emotion, and spiritual intelligence, how to inspire others to find their own voice. So very much looking forward to this talk. Thank you, Terence, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And in case we have some early birds who are here for the first time, we just want to introduce a little bit of what MMM is. So MMM is a community of like-minded people who love to wake up early, starting the morning, the Monday morning, in the right foot, in the right way, in the right mood. We are now a community of more than around 3,000 people, 8 WeChat groups. We love to share positive stuff, positive vibes. And Terence is actually one of our very active members in the groups. So if you want also to see what he posts or what we post, you can just add me or add Janine, and we will add you to the groups. We have one WeChat group in Chinese and the others all in English. We also have our Hangzhou group. Chinika is here, probably Angie. I didn't check yet, but we have our Hangzhou team as well. So feel free to add me and I'll add you to the groups. Then in case you are interested in becoming a MMM member, so 4 M's, right? MMM. You will, the good news is that you will get access to all the MMM recordings for all of these 2.5 years of Monday Morning Motivation, and also access to exclusive discounts from all our partners. Also, we have our 365 days of motivation. Well, you can journal, you can find some inspirational quotes, you can just get some those of inspiration in the morning or in any other part of the day. So feel free also to scan the QR code if you are interested. And last but not least, we do all of these for free, but always feel free to contribute to the project and let it grow. The good news is that you will also be supporting the environment at the same time, because 50% of the proceeds actually go to the 1 Million Tree project. And this is our lineup for February. So stay tuned for some amazing talks in February. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I was just thinking it's Valentine's Day and you are here. Amazing. Wonderful. All right. And with no further ado, I will pass the word to Terence. So Terence, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sophia. And I just realized, yes, thank you guys for spending Valentine's Day with Sophia and I. Thank you very much.
Love.
How did you do? Like that, right?
Oh, this is very sweet. Yes. In the end, we need to take a picture with everyone.
So guys, just before we start, can everybody hear me clearly?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm recording myself on my phone, so I'm just get that started. So guys, thank you so much for being here. My PPT's playing up again, sorry. So I'm Terry, really grateful to be here with you all today. I'm part of the Monday Morning Motivation Group. That's the 3 M's, not the 4 M side. So today I'm going to talk about the 8th habit. And the 8th habit is learning about your 3 unopened birth gifts and how to use them, and where we develop our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual intelligence. And importantly, how to inspire others to find their voice. So this comes from Stephen R. Covey, who wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which was a brilliant self-help book. I'm sure you've all read it. and it contributed three exceptional things, where its success had three things: straightforward, comprehensive structure. Most importantly, it's against the grain thought model, which has supplanted the traditional outmoded independence striving personal ethic to now we're more independent, interdependent on people with having our character as our character ethic. So Stephen Covey wrote the 7 Habits, and then recently he's felt he needs to make a small update. So many new readers, many people have grown up to make a bridge between the complete framework of universal principles, which is the 7 Habits, and now the central challenge, which is our new knowledge worker age. So the challenge for us now as knowledge workers, which many of us are, is being highly effective is just not enough. It's not enough for this age. The world has changed rapidly, even in the last couple of years with COVID. And what the world needs to flourish is the entirety of you and the entirety of me as an authentic and passionate and dedicated person living our lives to the fullest and being enthusiastic about making contributions to society. So the 8th habit is about making the final step forward, going forward, that stride towards the top and move from simply being effective to really being great. And it's about finding your voice and inspiring others to find theirs. Or also learning how to use a PPT. the nature of your voice. So the first things first, what do we mean by voice? So intuitively, we know what the meaning is, our voice, right? We know the meaning of the word, and it can be found in the innermost you, what you really are, what separates you from people who run around with a smile, go to work happy, constant, or people that are constantly saying, I'm stuck in a rut, I'm bored, I'm just not making a difference. Voice is the antonym of this kind of frustration and stress. It's the opposite. It's your unique personal significance. So it's only revealed when we face our greatest challenges, and that makes us equal to these challenges. Your voice essentially lies in a nexus of 4 aspects of your personality. So your talent is number 1, your natural gifts and strengths, your passion, the things that inspire you innately, the ones that excite you, the ones that motivate you, the ones that really energize you, even while you're not doing them. And then your needs, what you cannot not do, even if you wanted to. And this encompasses what the world needs from you as well. So that's to say, even if you need to take selfies, you need to play chess or do whatever you want, the world doesn't require your needs enough to pay for them. And you would be selfish if you just allow yourself the luxury of fulfilling your own needs all the time. And then we move on to your conscience. So that's the other small voice within you that says what's right, what's wrong, and what prompts you to do the former. I mean, do what's right. So when you engage in work that fuels your passion and taps your talent, and when that work rises out of a real need in the real world, and when your conscience draws you to meet this need, both for you and importantly other people, well, I'm really happy to say you've found your voice. It's your calling, your soul's code. So finding your voice, what are these 3 unopened birth gifts I'm talking about? Well, many people live in a pain, sort of a life of pain and frustration. Everything's going wrong, everything's bad, rather than one of true fulfillment, relevance, significance, and contribution. The first step towards fixing this or mending this is discovering your voice, your inner voice, your outer voice. The second step is expressing it by aligning your choices with it. So aligning your choices with your voice. So you might have worked out by now, discovering your voice is something that is synonymous, something that's the same as understanding your true nature. And understanding your true nature begins of becoming aware of your 3, what's hardwired, fantastic, magnificent, mostly unopened birth gifts. So your freedom to choose, the natural laws and principles, and your intelligences or your capacities. So our first gift is the freedom to choose, right? So it's really difficult to overstate how important this is. It's the second greatest gift of all, right, next to being alive. So we fundamentally are products of our choices as much as our nature, which is our genes, our nurture, upbringing, and they influence us. They don't determine our destiny, but it's immensely important because it means that we are self-determining. And this is the essence, or maybe the essence of being human. So unlike animals or robots who can only react, humans are capable of acting or responding. For us, in between the stimulus and the response, there's always a little space wherein our freedom to choose lies. So in other words, no matter what it looks like, we always have a choice how to react. So if you're having a bad day, something goes wrong, you can choose how you react to that. So saying that you don't, it's just an excuse, just an excuse. It's just another way of saying we've made the wrong choice. If you don't like your position in your company, talk to your boss, ask for a promotion instead of just moaning that you're stuck there. But if you don't like the company at all, resign, update your resume instead of complaining to your friends or complaining online. Just do something, take an action. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything like that. So you've got to forget that you're free to make either choice. But if you're taking the negative, if you're reacting in the wrong way, you're making the wrong choice. It's simple as that. Freedom to choose. So our second birth gift is natural laws or principles. So as I've said, there's always freedom of choice, but it's always limited in one way or another. So say if you're an adrenaline junkie and you want to jump out of a plane, you make that choice to go skydiving, but then when you're falling, you wouldn't be able to make the choice to stop falling, right? Gravity is a natural law, one that you can break and one that controls the consequences of your actions. So whether you like it or not. So likewise, no matter what type of positive mental attitude you have, chances are you'll never be faster than Usain Bolt. Chances are you'll never be 18-year-old gold medal winner like Eileen Gu, right? The simple reason is there's natural limits to your physical muscle conditioning, the time you have to train, and your natural talent. So to move toward the less tangible, but more important, even if you don't believe there are such things as universal right or wrong, and you intimately feel betrayed if someone gives you a promise and then breaks it without explanation, this is an example of what's called a natural principle. So things like respect, honesty, kindness, integrity, service, or fairness, just being kind to people, delineate the outcomes of our actions in such the same manner as gravity, basically. They are universal, they're timeless, they're factual, they're objective and inarguable. So aligning our choices with these natural principles is a wise use of our freedom to choose. So what do I mean? In other words, even though there is no natural law stopping you from robbing a bank, and even though you have the freedom to make that choice, choosing such a thing is unwise because it goes against the natural principles of fairness, kindness, or simply right or wrong. So our third birth gift is our four intelligences or four capacities, however you want to frame that in your mind. These are of our nature, right? So this birthright is represented by four intelligences or capacities. So our physical body or intelligence is called the PQ, our mental intelligence, which is IQ, our emotional intelligence, which is EQ, and our spiritual intelligence, SQ. So let's look at IQ first. We all know what IQ is, mental intelligence. So this is what everyone has in mind when talking about intelligence. Our IQ is our ability to analyze, reason, think abstractly, use language, visualize and comprehend. And then our physical intelligence, our PQ. So we often neglect this. We don't think about this, our body's intelligence. But it should be obvious. What is our body's intelligence? Without any effort, our heart is beating, right? We're breathing right now. The blood is flowing through our bodies. We're thinking. Then we look at EQ, emotional intelligence. This was popularized by Daniel Goleman. And the EQ is a person's self-awareness, knowledge, self-knowledge, empathy, social sensitivity, and ability to communicate successfully with other people. Now, spiritual intelligence, a lot of people dismiss spiritual intelligence. This is SQ. This is the central and most fundamental of all intelligences because it serves as a sort of guidance for the other three. And what it means is spiritual intelligence. It's our drive for meaning and connection. So how do we express our voice? How do we cultivate the highest manifestations of these intelligences? So four of them that we mentioned previously, I've just mentioned. can be developed, right? So through persistent effort and inner struggle. And that can be step by step. It doesn't have to be every day. And even cultivated to the highest manifestation. So for your body, for your PQ, what is the highest manifestation? This would be discipline, okay? For your mind, your IQ, it's your vision. For your heart, your EQ, it's passion. And for your spirit, your SQ, it's your conscience. So these four are the loudest expressions of your voice and what marks out the lives of all the greatest achievers throughout history. So all of these great achievers throughout history have had vision, discipline, passion, and conscience. Look at Elon Musk, richest man in the world, richest man in history now. So lacking either of these four is lacking too much for you or for me to be a great achiever. The only thing you need to kick things into gear and start leading a more balanced, integrated, powerful life, attuned to these expressions of your voice, is making four simple assumptions. These are so simple, and I guarantee you haven't thought about them before. So to start developing your PQ properly, just assume that you've had a heart attack. You're going to start living differently, right? To start perfecting your IQ, assume the half-life of your profession is 2 years, and then prepare accordingly. For your heart and your EQ, this is really important. Assume everything you say about other people, positive or negative, they can overhear you. Then you will start speaking accordingly, right? Understand what I mean? So finally, for your spiritual, your SQ, assume that you have a one-on-one visit with your creator, whoever you believe in, once every quarter. Now live accordingly. So here's some several straightforward pieces of advice. The fundamental way to develop your PQ is wise nutrition, consistently balanced experience, proper rest, relaxation, stress management, and prevention thinking, trying to think positively. The 3 ways to develop your IQ, your mental capacity, are continuous, systematic, disciplined study and education, the cultivation of self-awareness, so that a person can make assumptions and think outside of the box and outside the comfort zone. And my favorite is learning by teaching and learning by doing, which is what we do in this community. We're all learning from each other and all teaching each other. The best systematic way to develop the 5 dimensions of your EQ, so EQ is really important nowadays, is by practicing the original 7 habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey. So to put those habits in context, and these are not in order, being proactive, habit number 1, raises your self-awareness, beginning with your end in mind, going towards your goal. Habit number 2 develops personal motivation, putting things first, taking a first step. So then habit number 3 is sharpening the saw. Habit number 7 is enhancing self-regulation. So this means first understand yourself and then help people to understand you. Then habit number 5 is cultivating both social empathy and social skills. And these are all further improved by thinking of win-win, which is habit number 4, and then synergizing with habit number 6. And then finally, I think developing spiritual intelligence is really meaning aligning your work with your unique calling and gifts. So expressing your voice, being true to your highest value of conscience. So to me, that means having integrity. And with contributing to people and causes. So this is finding meaning, giving back, inspiring others to find their voice. This is also giving back. Even though all of us are free to choose paths of our own, any of us can start developing the 4 intelligences right away. Right after this meeting, we can go and do it. But somehow we're all in this sort of culture of blame, operating a collective mindset that, you know, we're all victims. It's somebody else's fault. This guy did this wrong. It's not my fault. There's this misfortune or failure. It's all these external factors. Instead of recognizing and embracing our 3 birth gifts that we have, they're here, and really cultivating our 4 intelligences, following the natural principles. So the first step, that is the first step in going towards personal greatness, toward becoming a whole person. However, it's not the last, because once you become a whole person, it becomes your duty and my duty via the natural principles to start inspiring others to find their voices. And this is what differentiates great leaders from the rest of us. And we can all be great leaders, but we need to use our vision, our passion, our discipline and conscience to make others achieve personal greatness. So the greatest leaders are able to restructure their organizations in such a way that it makes it easy for all employees to find their voice. And this is the challenge of our time. And this is in turn what will give the greatest leaders their place inside the history books of tomorrow. So vision, passion, discipline, and conscience. These really are the highest manifestations of your four intelligences, and thus your voice. So what you need to do now is organize your life so as to attain each of these: vision, discipline, passion, and conscience. By achieving these and attaining these, you can achieve greatness. So guys, thank you so much for listening. Here are my contact details, and I will send these out in the group later. Thank you again so much for being with us on Valentine's Day. Really appreciate it. Little kiss. And then, are there any questions?
Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
We have it. Lovely talk. Thank you, everyone, for being here on Valentine's Day. So lovely. How is everyone doing? All right. So if you have any questions for Terry, just make sure you unmute yourself, or you can also write down in the chat box. Terence is here now to answer your questions, whatever you want to ask.
Chinika, you have your hand up.
Yes. I thought I would write it out, but I'm like, so much information is going in my head. So, and I was trying to write things down, like, no, okay, this is not gonna work. So the question is, you talked about wise nutrition, and you talked about continuing system study and education, but I couldn't remember how that connected with these different cues. Right. So, and then I remember you talking about understanding yourself. So it's like, I don't know which one was connecting with the cues, and then how those cues connected, to the visual.
Okay. So. Okay, good question. And I'm conscious that I went a bit faster than normal because we just have 20 minutes.
Yes.
So fine. And as I said, I will do a write-up, and I will put the main points into an article, and then once Sophia gives me the recording, basically. But so your mental intelligence is your IQ, right? So that's your ability to analyze and reason and think abstractly. And to start, well, let's start with PQ, right? So your PQ are wise nutrition. So this is your body, right? So wise nutrition, being consistently balanced in your experiences, right? So you can go out and do what you want. You can go out and get absolutely drunk tonight if you want, and then have a terrible hangover tomorrow. But then you've got to balance that out. You've got to bring that back, right? You've got to bring your body back up to the optimum performance. And then you've got proper rest, you've got relaxation, stress management, and prevention thinking. Then on EQ, this is your continuous systematic discipline, study, and education, cultivation of self-awareness, and learning by teaching and doing. So this is what the Monday Morning Motivation community is about. It's learning by teaching and doing, and real mutual support. And then on your EQ, that's your being proactive, self-awareness, beginning with the end in mind, putting first things first, seeking first to understand and then to be understood, and then thinking win-win. And then with SQ, that's your spiritual intelligence, that's aligning your work with your calling and your gifts. So expressing your voice, being true to your highest value, which I believe is integrity, right? And then contributing to society. So just like Monday Morning Motivation does, when you buy a book, then they're planting trees. And lots of studies have shown that the more you give back, the happier you feel. When you give to someone, you actually get the same endorphins, you get the same rushes when someone gives something to you. So when we say spirituality, Sophia and I were talking earlier, some people go, oh, right? But it's not about religion as such. It's about living in a good way. So spirituality means, yes, David, SQ can be the same as value, as your own values. So Chinika, it's basically, with the SQ, it's living in the right way. But what I'll do later today, I will put these points I'm not going to transcribe the whole thing, but I'll put the main points into an article once I get the video. So I hope that answers your question, Shanika, because I tend to babble on. So
that was really good. Yeah. And even though I have access to the recordings and everything, I'm like, let me talk to the man himself right here now.
well, that's what we're here for. That's what the community's for.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shanika. Thank you, Terence.
Yeah.
Okay, so David is asking, EQ is the motivation?
Yeah, well, EQ is the best way to, so EQ is like you're being proactive. It's really about what's the best way to say it? It's your emotional intelligence, right? So it's being self-aware, having self-knowledge, empathy, social sensitivity, and being able to communicate successfully with other people. This is your EQ. Physical intelligence is throughout your body, right? But all of them are motivation, David. Every one of them, everything comes together, all of these dimensions. And you know, when we coach and we talk about, people talk about their goals, for example. How do I get to a goal? Or what sort of coach are you? Are you a life coach? Are you a business coach? Well, actually, whatever you call yourself as a coach, or whatever niche you're in, you are looking at all aspects. So if you have a goal to get healthy, your work goal or your family goal, your financial goal is part of that. Because if you don't have enough time to go to the gym or do your running because you're working 14 hours a day, that affects it. Or same thing, if you're working all these hours, do you have time to spend with your family or your significant other? So everything we work towards has to be, I hate the word synergy, but it's the best word. It's the best word to use here. Bringing all aspects of these sort of intelligences together, or motivation together, is really essential, David. But really good questions there, David, as well. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Terry, for the answer. Jay's saying brilliant and precise. Loved it. Thanks, Terry, sorry.
Thanks, Jay. Thank you.
Terry. Thank you, Terry. Good presentation.
How to measure. Oh, well, if you would like to have a goal setting session later, we can certainly do that. Good. It's a really good, Malati. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Very good question, right? The basic thing is, how can you measure it all? You can't measure everything. You can't, not everything's measurable. You know, some things are not tangible, but for example, your sort of the physical side of things. So eating well and going to the gym. Obviously you can keep a diary. I use a really good app called Strong, and I record all of my workouts in that. And that just shows me where I can go. You know, I was just saying to Sophia earlier, I had 2 knee surgeries over the last few years. And the anniversary of the last one was just last week. But from that time last year to now, from not being able to squat anything, I'm now able to squat 214 kg. And that's because I am writing that down and following it. But on the spiritual side, right, giving back or this sort of thing, you can also record this. It is tangible. And a lot of people have a gratitude journal. Or also Monday Morning Motivation's got a really good book, 365 Days of Motivation. But with your gratitude journal, you write down every day everything that you are grateful for. And it could just be even, I am grateful for this beautiful sunny day, right? I am grateful for waking up this morning. I am grateful for this, for that. This rewires your brain. And it really does rewire your brain. There's so much study into it. And it rewires your brain. And the more you feel gratitude, I mean, you can say giving back into the universe, however you think about it, but actually physically it rewires your brain and you're a happier person. So I used to write everything down, but now I do a 10-minute in my head type of gratitude thing. So you can measure this. And some people are really data driven and they want to write everything down. That's great if it works for you. Some people are more like gut feeling and you just measure it that way. So yeah, measuring it is really down to you. There's ways to do it, but you've got to find what works for you basically. But Sophia and I were saying earlier, I mean, the first thing to do is actually take that first step, right? There's a Chinese proverb. I can't remember the exact Chinese, but it's the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, right? And what that means is do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait until a week later. Do whatever you want to do now. Measure it how you want to. But the eighth habit is really trying to move us from the previous just information age. So now it's worker knowledge age, right? Nowadays it's soft skills, it's EQ. You could have the best qualifications in the world, but if you don't have these soft skills, if you're not able to interact with people, if you're not able to even look at yourself, then you're not going to succeed. Not everybody wants to be the CEO. Not everybody wants to be the richest person in the world. Not everybody wants to be able, the fittest bodybuilder, right? You've got to do what works for you. But what's important is actually looking at these four aspects and giving back into the world and making yourself a better person. So greatness means different things to everybody else, just as success does.
Beautiful. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
We have many people here with great feedback.
Yeah.
Petra is saying, thank you for the presentation and the emphasis on synergies and gratitude for greatness. Tatiana is saying, I guess just by seeing how it feels, you feel like you are doing the right thing and your body feels good.
Yeah,
PQ.
exactly. So all of these, there's no right or wrong thing. It's what works for you. But for me, I think, and I'm not preaching, I'm not telling you what to do, but the really important thing for me is the SQ. It's giving back, and the EQ, it's giving back to people and understanding yourself, right? Are you going to lose your temper? Why? Why do you react this way? Is that the right thing to do? Is it the good use of your time to lose your temper over something that's not controllable? It's looking at yourself, introspection, and then really helping each other, and if you're not a member of Monday Morning Motivation, I really suggest you join. It's only 400 RMB, right? It's one night out. Well, it depends where you go. It could be 2 nights out, but it's one night out, and you have access to some really, really good people.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. Do we have any other question, guys?
Yes, one more question.
Please.
Janika, go ahead.
I saw, I can remember the physical, you were saying it connected discipline, and spiritual connect to consciousness. I think I saw somewhere, or you were saying it.
Yeah.
About the emotional, and what about the mental? Okay,
so your body, your PQ is your discipline, right? It's the highest manifestation of your discipline. Your IQ is your vision. Your EQ is your passion, and your spirituality is your SQ is your conscience. Is that what you were asking?
Yes. So
yeah.
The IQ is the IQ is connected to, say that again. The IQ is
your IQ is your vision.
Your IQ is your vision. Okay.
Yeah. Your heart, your EQ is your passion, and your SQ is your conscience. I just want to point something out as well. So in the terms of the 8th habit, PQ is your body. But there's also a really great way of thinking called positive intelligence, which a lot of us are trained in. I think Sophia as well is trained in this. The positive intelligence, and your PQ is positive intelligence. So it's a slightly different thing, but it's all very positive. This is just about controlling your saboteurs in the other PQ. So, oh, sorry, I just sent that to David. Sorry, hold on. Janika, I'm just going to send. There you go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In the chat box, Janika, I think you can. I've just written down what they are for you.
Thank you so much. I see it.
Okay, pleasure. So I will do a write-up later with these sort of main points, and then I will send them in the group.
All right. Thank you so much, Terry. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone, also for being here with us on Valentine's Day, working on your self-love, right? Because MMM is also about self-love, right? It's all about working on ourselves. And I think there's nothing as powerful as working on ourselves, right? I think that's so important, and sometimes it's so underestimated, right? Because people think selfish to work on yourself, but that's not right. It's a way of self-love, and it's completely needed, because you can only give when you have, right? You can only give love if you love yourself, right? If you are able to learn and connect with yourself.
Exactly.
So thank you guys for being here. And last but not least, we have our lineup for February. So we still have 2 more speakers to come. So we have Simon next Monday is going to be talking about followership, why learning how to follow is important. And it's interesting because Simon also dances. So we both dance Kizomba. And in Kizomba, in some types of dances, following is very important, right? So actually I learned a lot about following while dancing, so I think he's probably gonna share a little bit about that as well. And then we have Pierre in the following week, and he's gonna be talking about habit creation, 3 keys you've been missing. So stay tuned. We also have our webinars on Wednesdays, fully in Chinese. And in case you are not in the groups yet, feel free to add my WeChat and I will add you to the groups. All right, so let me just check what you guys
Sophia, just quickly, a few people are asking directly for the recording. Please do join the group by adding Sophia, and they will provide the recordings to you.
Yes, so the recordings are actually exclusive for members. So exactly. You can be a member. All right, we have our MMM membership, but Terence will also be sharing an article with some bullet points about today's talk. So you can also follow that in our WeChat group.
And some screenshots of our beautiful faces.
Yes. That's right. So thank you so much, everyone. Hope you
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, amazing day, amazing Valentine's Day. Take care of yourself, give yourself a lot of love. And if you have a significant other, hope you guys have an amazing day together. Have a good morning.
Bye guys. Bye Sophia. Thank you.
Good Monday. Bye guys. Bye Tatiana. Alicia,
thank you. Bye bye.
Cooper. Bye bye guys.